Points.
I don't know. You're very good. Say the Medan, I'm so I'm to intend to use it. It's a minute so we are maybe a house to be credible.
Sad to say, my yes, you the CB women's capsules.
Oh, if it's a woman, it won't fee and so.
Hey, CB women's capsules with the Ajo.
Also, CB men's capsules, Ajo.
Susiana.
Ghana man, Memman Damase.
Our pharmacy, chemical, ne herbal shops ni name. Et to form Fresh Susie Herbal Center 0247 111671 and 0246 578750. CB men and women capsules.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Bonsoir, monsieur, madame, et voilà.
Babe, what is this?
This is the escargot and the foie gras. Oui.
Where did she go?
You pa one casa who say obase or pay fiedian, eh?
It's been long since you ever felt like this.
Welcome to the best in Ghanaian entertainment on Aquaba Magic. Efie. Welcome home to Aquaba Magic on DSTV channel 150. It's your moment. DSTV.
Accra Institute of Technology is a top private technology university in Ghana. The university has won a number of awards for providing world-class university education locally and internationally.
Over a decade, we have impacted knowledge and produced scholars. Our success stories are written, but we do not live in them. University is about people meeting people, learning from each other, elevated with an education that ignites the desire to succeed.
AIT. This is where you want to go to university.
bebre na ekoso ni pa bra bom ne afiefie mu a anka onye obi adwenkyira anka beboa no madam yi kyerɛ ma ayo adwuma aka ba akoboso mi mienu no afɔ ne ho madam yi di adwuma yi agya baba we sɛ won hwɛ so ma no otu pan aba ababa no so ɔkɔware wato ne shop num aboso mi nsia madam yi sɛ wontumi ne ababa we yi adwuma bi enti wɔnkɔ
ya ma na fɛ ɔma no papa dabi madam timi nkɔsa mi timi no nya adwuma ra wato store no mi se maka kyerɛ sɛ me kɔ baabi aba wato store no mo so mi nsia akɔtena baabi akɔtena ware ase afɛ no wana me se me no nya adwuma ra
mo dwene ho sɛ Mami say, Ababa we man ho kwan na ne kun ne na. Adentia, na ba yo yi mpene. Abe wa beti ase. Papa ni aba yo yada mu anyi nsan ya. Mami say chenchena ache. Aba wa no ekɔ yi nsan no tu.
Mami, me si sad na show ye wu beji.
Ahwafo, wo dwene ho sɛn. Dei ene ensensem bi atiti say ye kɔso wa afie mu nti. Ɛna TV Africa edi dwumade bi afrɛ no. Wo dwene ho sɛn ɛbrɛ wo. Wo tie wi a, ne ama wo kwan na wa frɛ. Akyɛ wadwen. Ne abisa wo sɛ, wo dwene ho sɛn. Sa dwumade yi 2H Herbal Center and also Yasene.
2H Herbal Center na Munawani Yari in our last stop.
Good afternoon, viewers. You're watching Listen, and this I am Natalie. Listen is the show which discusses the challenges and insecurities of adolescents, as well as the challenges of parents and adolescents. We're looking at life through the eyes of an adolescent, coming to you live from TV Africa and showing on DSTV channel 362, GoTV channel 175, and we're streaming live on YouTube Ali Television Network. Listen has been proudly brought to you by eTransact, Purple Rose Shoes, Glamour Hair, Danny Tailoring, and Presage. Today we're going to be talking about continuing actually from last week, and today is very interesting because I have both the adolescents and the parents on the set at the same time. We're going to find out if the parents are really ready to unlearn to learn, and we're going to really hear from the adolescents as well. In the studio with me to have this discussion is from the parents. I have Papa Ray from last week, Zelda Ansa, and Sam Zaka. And with the adolescents, I have Sebastian Zaka, Caitlin Barnes, Benjamin, Augustina, and Robert. Welcome to the studio, parents.
So good.
Thank you. Last week, we were talking about parents and learning to learn.
Yeah.
And our focus last week was about the safe space, what you expect to find in that space so that you're able to communicate with the parents. I think we ended on protection because one of the people who sent us a message said to us that parents are overprotective. Yeah. And we were trying to understand what protection is from their perspective and from the parents' perspective. As you know, this is a live show and very interactive, so you can send your contributions and comments to 020-723-3302. The number again is WhatsApp, 020-723-3302. So I'm going to start with the adolescents to explain what they mean as protective. So, Sebastian, when you guys say protection, what is your perspective? What do you expect in that protection?
Like, I could give some examples of stuff my parents do to me that they a bit too protective.
Okay.
So sometimes I'm going out with my friends. I tell my dad I'm going to, let's say, Maria's house, a girl's house.
You're going to a girl's house. Okay.
Okay. And 30 minutes goes, 1 hour goes. My dad calls me. Where am I? Where am I? I'm like, I'm at Maria's house.
So in 30 minutes he calls, and then another 30 he calls, and then another 30. Okay, because you are at a girl's house. But does he do the same when you go to a boy's house?
Yes, he doesn't trust me. So like,
you feel he doesn't trust you. Okay.
So like every hour or two, he's on calling. Where am I? Where am I? Am I still there? Did I go anywhere? Something like that.
So that's for you is the sense of overprotected.
Yeah.
Okay, Caitlin, tell us. Interesting. You know, their parents are here on set with us. Sam's father is here and Caitlin's mother is here.
Auntie Nali, thank you. So when you talk about overprotecting, for me, I find it as normal because I'm a girl.
Okay.
So obviously, if I go out somewhere, my mommy actually doesn't call me every time. Maybe she would send a text message. If she calls and you don't pick, if she calls you and you don't pick, that is another case. But then she would.
So what is the case when you don't pick the call?
I think she shouts the norms.
What is the norms?
She will yell at you, she might ground you. It depends on the case, right? If she calls you about 4 to 5 times, that's grounded. You are grounded. That is it. If she calls you like once or twice and you don't pick, and maybe you send her a text that mommy, I'm okay, or like that, it's still a problem. Like, why didn't you pick my call? Okay. But then you told me you are okay, but why didn't you pick my call? That's the question now.
So you not picking the call, and she's still grounding you because her issue is you did not pick the call. Do you think that is being overprotective?
Not overprotective or being protective, because she wants to know. Her problem is like, what are you doing that you can't pick a call?
Interesting.
But you can send me a text message saying you are okay.
So if it's what are you doing that you can't pick the call but you can text me, do you sense a bit of mistrust in there?
A little, but not too much. Like
not too much.
Yeah, I think it's normal for my mother to wonder why.
It's normal for her to wonder why. Why is that normal for her? I will save you the spare meat. Yeah. So you guys said, yeah, the protective, because I remember in your video, it was a big issue for you guys.
Yeah, so for me, my mom has my number, right? I'll tell her I'm going to this place. She would want the number of that person's, she wants the number of my friend, and I would give it to her, but she wants everyone's number, my friends, everyone's number. If it's Caitlin, Sebastian, and I give her Caitlin's number, she wants Sebastian's number, she wants Augustina's number, she wants Robert's number. Like, I don't know why she does that.
Do you think it's not the need, the concern, the worry?
So this is what I do. When I go out, I call her. I've gotten to the place. So within so and so hours, I'll come back home. Then she'd call my friend. Is he here? Yeah. After she had confirmed, she'll call the other person also. Are you here with him?
Well, it could be a cohort. It could be sparring for each other.
It's too much. So then I would call her back and I'll be like, why don't you trust me? I told you I'll be here and I'm there. I mean, have a bit of trust in me, like the way I trust you.
The way you trust your mom?
I trust her.
That's another show. But so in that, she monitoring, and you thinking that she's exhibiting that she doesn't trust you, does that make you feel that she's being overprotective?
Yeah, it's too much. It overs me sometimes, and my friends do sometimes complain, like, why?
Your friends complain?
Yeah, like, why, Charlie? You don't grow. Mommy they do so, and all that. And sometimes I become the simple, the one who has been isolated. Like, as soon as the phone rings, your mommy they call out. Which sometimes it's not good when you're around.
But trust, lack of trust, boils down to being overprotective. That's what I keep hearing.
So now I'm not sure if my mom still completely trusts me or it's a bit or less. But you see, there are certain things someone would do, you get to know. Sometimes when I go to a guy's house or I go out in the afternoon, she doesn't call. But at night, it's consistent, like, come home. I know you've given me time. I should be at home around 10. Fine, I'll be at home around 10. So at least give me the leeway and trust me that I will be there. But just like 30 minutes, mine is not 30 minutes, it's every hour. She'll call.
Sam, this trust issue, it's giving the kids a sense of parents being overprotective. Why do we seem to not trust them? Or is it that we trust them and we're not portraying right?
No, definitely there is trust. I mean, first, if you don't trust them, you don't allow them to go out to visit their friends. From my point of view is, the society has changed, and sometimes kids tend to follow a certain flow that they forget what are certain rules and regulations that they need to follow. To the element of sometimes kids showing signs of telling a certain lie that gives the parent a certain doubt that, well, he said he's here, but I got to know he's here. And that's what triggers that element of...
How did you get to know he's there instead of here?
Well, I mean, there are various means of knowing.
Okay.
Through contacting a few friends, through somebody saying, oh, I saw your son here or there, while he told me he's here. So these elements or these factors are the ones that create such reactions that... Now, Sebastian said every 30 minutes. That's not true, unfortunately. But at least every now and then I do call to make sure that
what is your duration of the now and then?
Well, I mean,
45 minutes, 1 hour?
An hour. I mean, depending on the time. Sometimes if the outing is in the evening, there are certain times that he should at least report back home. If it's the afternoon, I know he has a bigger time frame where he can go and spend a few hours with friends. But when it gets late, I need to know that, he's still where he is and he's not going somewhere else. And therefore, I need to check.
Do you react differently when he says, I've gone to visit a girl?
Not really.
You said not really.
No, because I know who that person is. I know the family, so that gives me more comfort. But definitely if he's going out with someone I don't know, definitely there is a concern that any parent should, be concerned about. Because at their age now, a lot of things, they want to experiment a lot of different things, they want to try different things, they want to do different things, and they sometimes easily get influenced by the society around them, and they forget that I shouldn't be doing this. And when it's done, sometimes it becomes too late. Then the parent comes in, then, different ballgame.
You said forget twice, and I'm going to come to that. But you said for sometimes, like, that family that he's gone to, so you're not too worried. So then I get the sense that if parents know that this is my son or daughter's friend, I know the family, or get acquainted with the family, and Zelda, I'm coming to you with this, it makes the monitoring or checking on them easier, or maybe more flexible. Is that the case?
Yes, to a large extent. One thing I want to put in right away before I go on is that we need our children to understand that most of the time the reason we do whatever it is that we do is to be sure that they're safe. They're in good hands. So that's the only reason, yes. Because otherwise, I won't be perturbed if I called you and you did not pick your line. Even when they are home and I'm out of the house and I call and none of them is able to pick their phones, I get disturbed because I don't know what's happening in the house. Why are they not able? It's not because I think they're doing anything evil, no. But anything could have happened, okay? Because of that, they'll say, oh, mommy, and my phone was on silent. Why was your phone on silent when you knew I was going to call? So because of that, ask them. I have bought in a landline that rings, and you have to run from your room and come and pick it up. Because when that rings, everybody, even if you're out of you're within you're outside of,
the house.
The house, yeah.
You would hear it ring and you pick up. So it's just a matter of me knowing that you guys are okay, and that's it. Once you're good, I'm good to go. I'm relaxed. For a parent, wherever it is that I'll be, I would always be watching. Not because you're a thief or you're a liar and I want to come and catch you, no. But just so that I'm relaxed with the fact that my kids are good, they are okay. There's no harm, no problem, no chaos at home, nothing. You've eaten, yes. You cleaned up, yes. You're watching TV, fine. You're in your room, that's okay. So when I call you, just pick up. Because once you don't pick up, then I start
thinking about anything that could be wrong.
Uber driver sent you to a wrong place, what? There's so many things going out in society, out there in society, that sometimes they don't even know the extent to which the risk is.
They take it at face value.
They take it at face value. You see, and we are not able to bring them in on everything the spur of the moment.
But
so
it sounds like they want that.
Yes, but then we just want to help. We just want to help.
When you say help, how do you mean?
Okay, so then I want my son, my daughter to be able to go to the beach, okay? First time swimmer at the in the sea, but not in the pool. It's different.
Yeah.
Okay, so then he can touch and be going bit by bit until he gathers what it takes, the capacity to swim in the sea. But if my son or my daughter just dives into the sea like he thinks or she thinks he could at the pool, I know that the currents from beneath the sea is not the same as in the pool.
Now that's deep.
And that child would not know from the word go. So by the time the sea is taking the child away and I am screaming and crying and the child is dying and being carried away, the child will be long dead and I would have lost a child. That child will be dead and gone. The child might not even know that she or he is dead. But I know I have lost a son, I have lost a daughter. And I don't want that to happen to me.
And so they really do not know.
They don't know
what is going on.
And the dangerous thing is that they think they know. That's the danger. They think they know everything. That's the danger. Because, you know, looking back, there are a lot of things that my grandparents, I would always refer to them, protected me against. And then when they were doing that, I thought they were just being a border. Today, I just throw my mind back and I thank them. Ma, say, you did not allow me to go to this function. You did not let me do this way. Do you understand? But then, I couldn't understand her.
Wow.
Yes.
If you just tuned in, you're watching Listen. Listen is the show where discusses the challenges and insecurities of adolescents, as well as the challenges of parenting adolescents. We're looking at life through the eyes of an adolescent, coming to you live from TV Africa. We're streaming live on Ali Television Network, and Listen has been brought to you proudly by Presage, Danny Tailoring, Purple Rose Shoes, Edify Ghana, and also eTransact. Now, we were talking about safety. Augustina, yes, we're still in that protection topic.
Yeah.
Now, as Zelda is saying, everything parents are doing for adolescents is about their safety.
Yeah.
And it's also about the issues that go on under the currents that you don't see. What is so difficult for adolescents to understand that it's all about your safety?
Okay, so I would say it's not that we don't want to understand. We do understand. But you see, we are just like an egg. An egg needs guidance, not overprotection. So just imagine you have two big or two huge rocks or cement or block. So that's one is mommy, one is daddy. And we being the adolescents in the middle as an egg. If mommy rolls me hard, I hit daddy, I crash.
Okay.
So I need to be guided, not to be overprotected.
When you say mommy rolls you hard,
yeah,
you hit daddy, you crash.
Yeah.
Give me instances.
Instances as in, I'm a student, okay? And then from the beginning, or the training mommy gives me at home, as in, whenever mommy or daddy creates any impression or creates anything like fear in me, I feel mommy is overprotecting me. In the sense that when I don't find it easy approaching mommy, telling mommy that, mommy, this is what happened, or I want to go to this place. Whenever I don't have the freedom to tell mommy that we are having awards nights, it begins at 9 p.m. I want to be there. I'll find my own way of going to the awards nights by creating another thing, which might not be the function. Let's say I tell mommy we have live show, let's say worship show. That one show, boldly let me go.
Because it's church.
Because it's church.
Okay.
We have awards night. So I'll wear my church dress, put my awards night dress in my bag. Mommy has not given me the opportunity to tell her the truth, because when I tell her the truth, she yells at me. That is also another thing. The adolescents always want to be able to, the way I'll be able to tell them exactly what happened to me last night. But with mommy, I only tell her the one that will sweet her. Yes. So mommy has to let me trust her by giving me the, see, we feel I need to respect mommy. I need to respect daddy. But in an African way, respecting means you need to fear the person. So when I hear daddy's car, I have to run away. When I hear mommy has come, I need to run away. So we need to we need to have that feelings. I can sit down like the way I'm sitting with my friends here, tell Ben, I met this guy, this is what he told me.
That topic is a different
Yes,
show.
I know, but I'm just using it as an example. So I should be able to sit with mommy and speak to mommy. When mommy becomes my friend, I have nothing to hide. But when mommy is not my friend, I always tell her what will make her happy. The rest of the bad things, I wouldn't say it's bad, but things that makes me also happy, it's bad to mommy.
Okay.
So I keep those things to myself. So all the time, my bag is heavy, and you think it's books? No. I have my enjoyment dresses.
Now, I'm going to go to Sebastian. Sebastian, you have parents from different cultures.
Yeah.
do you find that you're a bit, I'm being very careful with my choice of words.
Yeah.
Suffocated.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you find that you're between
Yes.
two?
Not really, to be honest with you. Not really. I don't feel one parent is more strict than the other. I feel like it's normal, like it's not from both sides.
Okay.
They both understand me from the same perspective.
The collaboration is good.
Yeah.
So do you feel that sometimes there are things you can go to daddy and tell him and win it over mommy, or the other way around?
Yeah, I think I'm more open to my mom.
Yeah.
Because sometimes my dad doesn't like when I do that type of stuff. My mom, I can find a way to sweet talk her.
I hope she's not watching to hear that you be sweet talking her.
Sweet talk is a nicer word. You manipulate.
Yeah.
So, I find ways to talk to my mom, so she can tell my dad.
Yeah.
And we're good to go.
And you're good to go. And she doesn't tell daddy?
No.
Sometimes, not always. Sometimes she can keep them out close. But sometimes, let's say I do something bad, then it's time for her to go and open up to everything I've done.
So it becomes like a blackmail tool for you?
Yes.
Acha. Interesting. And so at that point, how do you feel when mommy, stabs you in the back?
I get really mad, to be honest with you. I get really mad. I can go for like a day not talking to my mom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's very unusual for sons because sons are known to be very close. So at that point, who becomes your favorite? Does it shift to daddy? Or daddy comes hard on you, so...
You're by yourself.
I'm just alone in my room.
Alone.
My dad comes from work. I go see him small for like 30 minutes, get to an hour, and I'm back to my room.
So you are like on a strike?
Yep.
I see. So the different cultures does not affect you? Because I know your dad is Lebanese, and that's a different culture altogether, and the Ghanaian upbringing is different. So do you feel that the two of them together have their own values that they're bringing you up on?
Yeah. I think my dad grew up in Ghana, so I don't really...
He's more Ghanaian than anything.
Exactly. I don't really see
The day I heard him speak to you, I was shocked. He even wanted to give me a proverb. So you feel the balance, and you're okay with it. Now, the sense of security in that space, you said you are more open to your mom. So in that space where you feel that you need to have both of them to talk to them, do you get that?
It depends. Like, sometimes I don't want to open up to my family. Sometimes I really want to do. Like, sometimes when they're together, then maybe I'll try to open up. But not really. I don't really open up to my family.
You just said something. Sometimes you just don't want to open up to anybody. And do you find that that space is respected?
Yeah, I do. I feel like
is respected. And you're not concerned that at that point, because any parent will worry, why have you secluded yourself? Something is definitely going on with you. And at that point, mommy or daddy will say, oh, talk to a friend, Sebastian is quiet, is this, and then there we go. They say we are gossips.
The problem is sometimes when you open up to your parents, the type of response they'll give you is just going to hurt you. It's just going to make you feel like, nah, next time I'm not going to open up to my parents.
Wow, that's deep.
Because they don't want to listen to the response. They don't want to accept the response that they get, because as was mentioned earlier, I mean, they expect everything to be given to them, easy, and yes, I'll give them a yes sir kind of an answer. But that is the problem, is they want something, and in the back of their mind, it's a given. And when they ask for it, and it's not given, then becomes a problem.
Especially when they think you have the capacity to give.
Exactly. That's, depending on the scenarios. And that, in most instances, allows kids to withdraw a bit, thinking that, oh, my parents don't either like me, or they're harsh, or they're difficult, and therefore, let me do it on the side without telling them. That's when more of the problems start coming in. And that's where the protection issue, comes into play. And you see, sometimes Sebastian, well-structured fellow and so on, characters do matter. Some kids are a bit more sensitive than others. Some kids are more accepting, than others, accommodating. So it all depends on how. And then, as a parent, you need to be moving around, these kind of.
You need to know the characteristics
exactly.
of your child.
So at any given time, how to approach the issue or the problem or the question in a way that to be acceptable to them.
Do parents have time to get to know their characteristics?
Well, definitely, you have to. I mean, there's no other choice. You need to have time. Personally, I do have time in the evenings when I come home, I call my kids and we sit down all together and talk about their day and see what happens and if they need any advice. And it's a constant reminder every day, guys. If you need anything, I'm here. I'm a phone call away. I'm a WhatsApp, message away. Feel free, That's communication. I mean, communication.
Papa Ray, again, they're talking about a space in which they want to communicate. And they find that each time they hit a brick wall. What is it that I mean, as from your perspective as a parent, what exactly do you think that these kids are expecting too much?
Okay, so several things come to mind as I was listening to the conversation, and a word that stuck with me was discipline and responsibility.
Okay.
Who holds what? Okay, what is the trade-off? And I was just having a conversation earlier, I think with Ben, where I was saying that adolescence is a very confusing time. We've all gone through it. Imagine you trying to sort yourself out in a confusion. Now, what is confusion in the first place? Let's define confusion. The confusion is when a man doesn't know what to do next. That's the basic definition of confusion. Okay, and so there's a pull, there's a desire to do something, and sometimes the outcome that you are expecting may not be there. And so in your mind, in the adolescent mind, everything you want to do checks out. But the end result might not be what you set out to do. And that is where parents come in. Because you've not been an adult yet, but we have been adolescents. Now, whenever I see that, I see people like, oh, there they go. I mean, it's absolutely true. Because, and the times are different, and I'm speaking and choosing my words carefully because the circumstances and the backgrounds are different.
Yeah.
Some have come from a background where there's that openness and there's play, and but in some cases it's even too much. That some take undue advantage, and in the presence of other people may even be a bit disrespectful sometimes. Okay. Then again, it is said that when a child learns, and how does a child learn? Through observation, through asking questions, and through being supported. To the extent that the child does not feel entitled, because a parent would like to provide, we don't only do protection, we also provide, we also guide, we also correct. But we do all these things because we have a responsibility and we must not fail. I like to say all parents pass, but some of us fail and we fail successfully. Please forgive us for that. But that said, the space we are talking about do exist. Now, when a child begins to get smart, like Augustina was talking about how you can tell mommy something and you know.
You mean the other thing.
That already shows there's a problem. And that already shows that you are sowing seeds of mistrust. Because you have perceived that mommy or daddy will not let you have your way, because you have in your mind created scenarios that mommy wants to hear. What you forget is that you just reinforce your own understanding. Because consistently, when you are inconsistent, that already gives you room to start taking your words with a pinch of salt. It's not a whole bag of grain. Okay, a whole bag of salt. And so, as I listen to the conversation, I just want to encourage adolescents to understand that the challenges that you are going through, the confusion that you are going through, you are not alone. But it helps when you are truthful about it. When a child is not listened to, or when a child feels they are not being listened to, sometimes nothing hurts to just go back at another time to revisit the issue and see whether you still get the same reaction you got when you first introduced it. And all parents listening to me today and listening to me right now, I just want to throw this advice to all of us, that yes, our children do sometimes see we are going through stress, they do see, but sometimes they gauge the mood before they come with whatever they are bringing to us. I think it's also okay for us to know that they can come to us at any time with any problem, and we must have the ability to put ourselves in check so we can appropriately respond.
That's true. But I mean, I'm going to come to Robert and come back to you. The issue about time, you know, timing, engaging, and it seems to be something that adolescents worry about.
Yes.
Because I remember you mentioned once that they come home, you want to talk, and already you can see that, oh, it's not the right time.
Yeah.
But whatever they're dealing with is pressing and they need to talk. So at that point, what do?
We either go to our friends or go to the internet because our parents are not ready. Sometimes you want to go the next day, they are still not ready. It's worse. It will take a week. And the thing is urgent. You need someone to talk to. So you have to go to your friends or the internet, search for something, and you find the answer. Because they are not ready. They are not available emotionally. They are not there. Do you get it?
So what happens when the answer that you got, okay?
You didn't get the answer because you never have. Yes.
So that was why they didn't come back.
Yeah.
Because at the time you did the response and you didn't get it from that area, and you went to that friend or you went to the internet and you got whatever. I don't think anything stops you from just going back to even validate what you think you got.
But if he's been several times, because I remember Marvin mentioned something similar, that Daddy says, come back in 20 minutes. 20 minutes he goes, and this time Daddy's door is locked. And then the next day he tries to approach, and Daddy's not available, and it's gone on. So even when he thinks that, okay, maybe today Daddy's in a better mood, or he seems to have time, he still doesn't get it. But if he's going to the internet
is always available.
It's available, but
not on every subject,
I want
though.
to come in here. You see, we are trying to bring up our children. We are not trying to spoil them. The fact that you want to speak to me right now does not mean that everything must come to a standstill, so I listen to you. Now, this is what I do with them, my children. This is what I do with them. Sometimes, Mommy, can we talk? I said, not now. That's not to say that I can't talk, but I'm just watching how you're going to manage that time in the space. Okay. Because you see, in this world that we live, you don't get everything on a silver platter. So you need to help the individual manage his or her emotions when they want something and yet they cannot get it.
That is assuming that you know the child you have,
yes,
and how much they can handle.
No matter how the person is, when, touch wood, if you were not there, if you were dead, and that child had grown up and he had grown up having almost everything he or she wanted on an easy, and you're not there, and the child faces a challenge in future when you're not there, how is the child going to, with what capacity is the child going to handle that or manage that situation? So you see that you would have left the child to just grow up. You did not bring the child up. Do you understand?
Are you listening?
And so you realize that way back, yes, Escaforma are not able, they don't have what it takes, the tenacity to engage situations. Because they were not brought up. That thing is not there. Everything they want, they get it. Everything they want, they get. So when he's 45 years old, and he engages a little challenge, he goes into other things.
Be 45 before.
I'm just saying that. Because you see, so there are times that I will intentionally say that, no, you will not have it. Even when it's right there beneath your nose, you can see, you can touch it, but I say you cannot have it. Robert.
Miss Natalie.
Yes. So manage it. Manage it. Let me watch you when I can help you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You see, adolescents want to feel responsible. Sometimes we want to own up to the mistakes that we make. That is why we want to go out. We know we'll come back at 10. But when you keep on calling us every 30 minutes, we feel like mommy is still guiding us. Okay, trust us. We want to be responsible. You've gone out. You said, make sure you clean the house and then you cook. Okay, I have noted it down. And then you are calling me 1 hour later, have you cooked? But you said you cook at 2, and it's 1. I mean, why are you still calling? No, I want to trust me that I'll cook at 2.
It is not
why parents always take on the negative, that there's something wrong?
If it's positive, it's good.
But they're never positive. They're always like, is the house on fire? What is happening?
No,
yes.
That's what you think.
You're always, you did say that about the swimming scenario. We are not babies. We know that the sea is a dangerous place. I get that sometimes we want to be mischievous and stubborn, that we want to try and just go to.
Not necessarily being mischievous, youthful exuberance. You see, you don't intentionally want to do things mischievously. No, that's not your intention. I don't look at it that way. You see, I don't look at it that you just get up and say, today I want to be mischievous. No.
Hey, some of them do.
Fine. But even that,
Depends on the crowd.
It's for the fun of it, okay?
Yeah.
Yes. But and yes, I was said that's my sorry. And then you made me collab on it. No. You don't do that. You know what I mean? That's not what you want to do. But you see, for whatever reason that you want to do what you're trying to do, we just want to make sure that it doesn't end negative. And sometimes when it goes negative and you still can manage it, I'll just be standing behind and praying, God, help him. I will not come in there to help you. Ask Caitlin. Because I know that you can handle it. Or I just want to watch whether you can handle it. But then when it's going overboard, then I will dive in like Superman and come and say,
But let's know that some
and
parents...
when I come out with you, that's when I start yelling. Because then my frustration is built up. I need to bring it out. I need to vent it. So you are the cause of it. You got to receive it. I will yell and all the frustration will come out. Tomorrow morning I'll come to your room and come and chat with you anyway, because you're still my son, my daughter, and I still love you. But that time, all of that, did he die? Did he not die? All that, I am Christianity appear. Hey, Jack, they catch that will say, that's a yelling and they will come.
But yeah, next time we'll also lie to you.
No problem. I think the other part that parents need to just add to that is, I call it positive vulnerability.
Yeah.
Where a parent can actually say, son, you know what, I think I got it wrong yesterday, I'm sorry.
Yes, but
do we say the same?
Yeah,
sometimes
they
we
don't
do.
say this.
Sometimes we do. When we do, they seem not to hear us when we are saying.
So how do you say? Do you say sorry? Do you say, Sebastian, I'm sorry that I did this, or you give things?
No.
You say I'm sorry.
Has
the
Daddy
way
said
I
sorry
spoke to you.
before?
Oh yes.
He's not giving an answer.
No, he would.
It's not often, so he's trying to remember.
Caitlin, has Mommy said sorry before? Has Daddy said sorry before?
Yes.
Has Mommy said sorry before?
Let me add a bit on the sorry. There are things that parents will say and do that they may not use the word I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, how do we see it?
But then I'll get that. So when you even see the parent trying, I'll give you this example that may not be related. The first time I had my mom, for example, she didn't know how to respond because yes, I'm not teaching yet.
Yeah.
But I've read about it, I've seen it, and I've seen that it brings closure.
Yeah.
The first time she didn't know how to respond. Subsequent time, she went back to it. The first time I said, Mommy, I love you.
She said, what do you want?
What is the catch? You are saying you love me. I just want us to understand, for the purpose of those who are still watching us, because we are here and we're having this conversation. Somebody may be having a situation like what we are discussing, where a parent will not even show any remorse, will not even show any, in fact, they will even do you more harm.
Yes.
Okay, who do you think you are?
Yes.
What help to you? What I say is law and all that.
What I say is law. It's a very...
It is unfortunate that sometimes people go through this, but like I was talking about adolescents, there are responsibilities that parents might have towards the child. And I'll go back to scripture and the Bible says, do not provoke your children.
Yes.
That is what,
Yes.
I've come to realize that whatever the Bible tells anyone to do, because that person finds it difficult to do that. That's why you're instructed. But when it comes to a child, it says what? Respect or honor your father. And you know what it means to honor. It doesn't say honor when they deserve it. It doesn't say honor when they speak the right thing. It says honor. So that your days will be long. It's because it has a promise attached to it. But it says, parents, do not provoke your children. In other words, do not do things that will make your child have yaudie. You can tell English.
Yes.
Have pain.
Bitterness.
Because sometimes you will not even know at what point you've lost that child's trust and confidence in you. And I know that children growing up have a lot of confidence in their parents. You see your parents as the Superman or Superwoman. They can do everything. You go to school, teacher replaces your parents. Because what your teacher tells you is what you insist. Then you get to friends, and your friends become higher in terms of influence on you. So we know that. So you get to the point where you need to have teachers, friends, parents, everybody being part of that communication that you need to make decisions.
Just want to add a few things. I mean, communication is key, and I think if communication is not open, transparent, and both parents and kids don't see eye to eye in a way that the door is always open. If you have a problem, come and say it truthfully so we can help you. And there's always going to be a counter reaction. That's when, the problem starts. But if, there's always good communication, open communication, it gives confidence to the child to say, yes, I have no problem coming to my dad or my mom, talking to them about anything, and I'm going to get a response. Now, the other issue is sometimes kids, as I said earlier, tend to expect a yes answer on anything they request. And if that becomes a no, if you're not able to tell them why it's a no, explain to them the reasons, by just saying, no, you're not allowed, without letting them understand, then there will be a counter reaction from the kid, from the child or children, and then becomes a problem coming back to you to communicate openly and truthfully.
Sam, let me open my phone lines. You said something that I'm going to come back to you on. Our phone lines are open. The number to call is 0302-908-607. The number again is 0302-908-607. Please make sure to lower your TV set when you call. Thank you. You said something about them saying, coming to you truthfully. There are times when the adolescent is being truthful, but parents have decided, no, she's telling a lie. No, he's telling a lie.
Yes.
How do they deal with that?
I mean, number one is experience. I mean, experience is, we've gone through, the adolescent life. We've gone through experiences. We've been exposed. So we have, from my point of view, a bit more exposure, knowledge, to know and read along the lines if what they're saying is truthful or not.
Is it every time that we're able to tell? Because, there are times they may be telling the truth. Maybe they've started a bit here and there, and you're thinking, oh, the story's not consistent. But they may be telling the truth.
It's easy to read. I mean, if somebody comes in and tells you a story, you either believe it because it makes sense, or you don't because it doesn't make sense. So 99.9%, you know if your child is telling the truth or not.
Have you had a situation where you've actually told the truth and it's been told you were telling a lie?
Oh yeah, several times.
Several times?
Yeah, several times.
Then if it's several times, then something must have led to it,
No, see, I don't know something about African parents, but it looks like
Can we go to Ghanaian parents?
Okay, Ghanaian parents, sorry. It looks like they have
we have a caller on the line. Hold on.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for calling. Your comments and contribution, please.
And by a place. Now in the young ones who are coming, the way we were treated, or the way our mothers or our grandparents were different from them. Nowadays they want to become in, I don't know, whatever they want to have it in a silver platter. And sometimes things that has cost them much in the right side. Wow. The right. Everything they do or they say, they think is right. Or even correcting them is another thing altogether. As a child, you know your parents said, don't cook at this time. When the other guy is thinking that my parents said cook at this time. And your father is just checking you. Who have you cooked at one? You are pissed off. Why are you pissed off? Oh, have you know yes that I've been cooking at one. That shows a little bit of you don't to help your daddy that I'll cook when the time is. But you pissing off. And you having time for mommy. What do you are thinking? You are not maybe the parents, the children, you are all white people. You have an issue. Everyone has got an issue. Maybe your issue was not last. An issue before your issue came. Mommy said meat. And you're pissed off. What do you want us to do now? And they want us, you said someone said they are eggs. And if you are eggs, we are handling you as an egg. You want us to handle like, let me see, a fish? No.
Oh, God.
A fish, we use a knife, we use glass of the fish. But an egg will be used. When the egg is thrown out to the father will hold the egg. When the egg is thrown to the mother will hold the egg. So if you're an egg, behave as don't behave as fish. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution. Well, you heard him. If you are eggs, behave like eggs. Okay. You are fragile, so you need the protection. But if you want to be
like fish,
treated like a fish, then you'll be treated like a fish. I have a message here. She says, yes, some of us, the future we choose for ourselves, our parents don't even have any idea of how it works. So it becomes a problem when you try to explain what you're doing to them. So is there any other way we can approach them in such cases? Parents?
Yes, I think there are many ways you can approach it. The first one is not to approach it as if you know it all and you have it all.
Yeah.
A parent is a parent. And we are not parents because we are perfect. We are all work in progress. And
so parents are also work in progress.
Are work in progress.
So they should cut us some slack.
I know.
We have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Joseph. I'm calling from UAE.
Thank you very much for calling. Your comments or contributions?
Yeah, I want this computer insurance, that no matter, we want to see his children on time go through 10 years of you. Listen, we Ghanaian parents, we always expect you to apply for the good home. Not to see the cultural discipline. Even the kind of friends you move with, where you go, where are you coming from? You see, your parents will not hate you. You want your freedom. The best thing you need to do, make the time today and become your best and become who you want to become. And the freedom is yours. That's the best you need to do for your best. And just let us have our parents to take care of us. Many children, you see, parents are coming for you, and you are seeing your parents as someone who needs you. You can go far, like our father. Obey your children, and it is a blessing that comes with it. Every time I go, you cannot disrespect your father. You cannot disrespect your mother. When you disrespect your father, you are disrespecting your father. And when you disrespect your mother, you are disrespecting your father. You must know that they are your guys. What is it that talk after? You are two people who you need to sustain the progress of the country. We love each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So they're really against
we have a message here.
So let me just wrap up what I was saying before the message comes to you. So there are many ways you can let your parents know what you want to do.
Yeah.
And if they don't understand you, it is not a crime. Do you understand? See, when God places a vision or something in your heart, it is in your humility and the way you are going about it. And parents sometimes are so proud of you, but we don't even let you know.
That's when they say we gossip.
You see, because you see parents discussing their children with other parents. And sometimes when you eavesdrop on those conversations, you'll be surprised. You understand? And so where you are having a situation or a vision that you want to have, and your parents may appear not to know about it, sometimes we research. Sometimes we should ask around.
We have a caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is John.
Your comments and contributions, please.
Please don't work my young one this month. We are young one. And what good for them when we are good. And they are learning everything good. And so you are going down with the right of a child. And it's not all this is the right of a child. And accordingly, when I was 52 years, when you love a child, you love them in school. If you don't go to school, they put you in school. They beat you in school, come to the house, you come to school. If you feel better thinking, wait until you should undercome activities. But now if you go to school and just put it, a child in school, but not the high level, small level, to stop their feet. They will tell you why you do that. They will tell the teacher why you do that. That's what the young man has been. And he's letting them doing what is good and they are thinking. If we should avoid that, we will go back to our thinking as the Bible gives
Hello.
Thank you very much for your contribution. We have a message here from the Executive Director of TV Africa. He says that the world our parents grew up in wasn't exactly the same for them as it is for us now. For them, growing up and going to college was a guarantee for a good job. Nowadays, with so many unheard of majors and increasing numbers of graduates, that just isn't the case. Do we need to listen to them all the time when it has to do with building your career? Frank Edu Asari Jr. And he's right. When we were in school, you didn't even need to study banking to work in a bank. But it's not.
Today, even those that have done banking and finance
are not getting jobs.
Getting jobs, yeah.
And those who really have done the banking and finance are in the bank, want to get out.
Yes.
Okay. So.
And then before you go in, and then also, what you want to do, it's about your passion, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. I know that sometimes parents worry that it will not put food on the table.
Yes.
No, but that's the wrong perception moving forward. I mean, as you rightly said, you know, during our time, it's different than the times we're living in now. You know, technology, you know, social media, information is so easy to get. And from my point of view is, I would want my son to get into an area where he has a passion for, because anything you do without passion, definitely you're not going to succeed. And with the technology world that we're living in, it's easier to now fine-tune the areas you want to get into in terms of your education, your degrees, where you want to study, which university. You know, it makes it much easier now, from my point of view, than during our time.
Now, what Mr. Sari just said brings us back to our topic. And it's obviously telling us that the need for parents to unlearn to learn is very important.
Yes.
I think it's a good point, and we'll be discussing it last time and today. Yes, there's a need for all of us to, not just parents alone, even the children also need.
They need to. Okay, what are we
Unlearn
expecting them to unlearn to learn?
Okay, so the sense of entitlement, the sense of, you know, that an instant generation, you know, to learn the benefit and the pleasure of waiting and working at things till you become very competent in it. And also, we should be mindful of what we read and what we hear. A lot of this is very sensational. You see someone has become an instant success. Somebody just did one album and hit and became a celebrity. And you see, the things that bring you to where you want to be must be able to sustain you where you want to be. There's nothing like the growth process, for example. You can't fast track that. The things that are the fundamental principles of respect, of discipline, of tenacity, of paying the price, you can't shortchange that process. No, you can't. And sometimes when we say these things, it's not to place a hindrance on you. It's actually sometimes to challenge you to see how much of this do you really want. Because a lot of us, by the time we came to the career that we have, we've changed several times. I want to be a doctor. I want to be this. And sometimes you meet somebody and the person's way and life can change your career path altogether.
Wow.
So it is not to say that the dreams you have, parents want to stop it. Maybe they may not understand what you're trying to do. So the onus is on you to begin to see what you will become. And
so they have to find a way to communicate.
They need to
in
communicate.
humility.
Choose your words carefully. Like I said, you can have a very hard argument, but your words are very soft. Very respectfully, you can put your case across, but not insisting to have your way. I'm an adult. Stop treating me like a child. You know, I'll leave this house for you.
I have a message before we go. It says, hi, I'm Mamiesi. You're looking lovely. Please, when is the finale? And also, my parents leave us to do our own thing because we get bored at times with what they say. But they don't intend to speak about anything we do again, and my siblings are worried.
Left you to yourself.
We let you do it.
You can't do it.
Okay, I get that. Why are they so insecure? It says, Kennedy from Kumasi, my contribution is parents should give room for their kids to know the reason why they are so insecure. Yeah. So you're asking, are you willing to let the children know why you have a sense of insecurity around them? And then I have this one. It says, I've just tuned in to this show and it's very helpful. What happens when a child is abused from school or a party or they face any harm of this sort and the child arrives home and wants to communicate this to you, but not able to sacrifice a moment of listening to your child? In that moment can cause a lot. So as parents, we should learn to have a listening ear to our kids in the very moment they approach us, because that is what creates the flow of communication more easily. And this one says, I'm now from Accra. One thing parents have to come to terms with is the changes in times and seasons. Sometimes we go so extra to make compromises, like I didn't get it easy in any time without considering the exposure and resources we had at the time as compared to now. If we are able to strike the difference between our world at that time and now, I think it would really help. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Next week is our season finale, and we have an open live studio. So anybody who wants to be in studio for the final discussion of this season of Listen, send a message to 020-723-3302 and you'll be directed to the right person to deal with you. I mean, we've had a very good discussion today, and we are really happy and honored to have had all of you here. The season finale, you do not want to miss it. Make sure you stay tuned to your TV or your DSTV, Go TV, and YouTube for next week. Next week is going to be an amazing. If today was wonderful, next week is going to be an explosion. Thank you very much for watching. I am Natalie, and you've been watching Listen. Thank you.
Women, they say, are the bedrock of the society, and to some extent, the nation.